No one. Oh, are we live?
It says live.
Hi.
Oh, we should probably pull up YouTube. I didn't do that.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's still taking a. It's not up yet.
YouTube's taking its sweet time here. No, it says live now. I went to your channel.
No, I'm not live yet.
I can see you. I'm on your channel.
That is real. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, and then we have to mute. There we go. And
pop out chat. Wait, how do you pop out chat?
Pop out.
Hello. Chat. Got it.
Hi. So Kevin actually ended up reading the whole book. So he said he was going to come in and.
I am so impressed.
Well, he listened to the audiobook. He listened to it in like 3 days. He loved it.
Nice.
It's more his style though.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot like higher fantasy.
Yeah. So who do we have with us right now?
Well, I'm going to tweet out saying we're live.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think we just have one person. Hello. Oh, okay. We've got Jess. Awesome. Trisha. Why is oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm not typing. Like, I'm not on the chat. There we go. So the hello from me and the oops, that's Kevin.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
There we go. Yeah, change channels. Zara, come here.
Oh my God, Friends, I'm Immortal. That's a great screen name.
Okay, so do we want to start? Oh, I don't have my book. Where is my book? Ah, there it is. Hang on.
I literally have a stack of all of our books right now.
Okay, so this is the live show for Nevernight. So there's gonna be lots of spoilers. So hopefully everyone's read the book.
Hi, Jess. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Sai. Yes, Trisha, you definitely won the procrastination game.
Yeah. So, Hannah, did you want to start?
So I rate this a 3.75 out of 5. I was very conflicted on what to rate this. I feel like every month I'm like, I'm so conflicted.
Yeah. I actually ended up, you just finished as well.
Everybody raise your hand who has a hard time getting through this book.
Oh my gosh, reading it was so hard. Going to audiobook was the best thing ever because it was taking me like 3 minutes to read per page. I was taking me so long to read. I usually read about a minute a page, and it was taking me 3 times as long to read it. I just kept falling out of the book. I was just reading words. But then once I switched over to audiobook, I could listen to it at 2 times speed, and it was just going so much faster. You switched to the audio, okay.
And it looks like Jess DNF'd it. Jess,
oh,
did
no,
you were you reading
spoiled.
Were you reading it or were you listening to the audiobook? I'm very interested to know because I read for a good chunk of it and then I just couldn't. I switched.
You did
the audiobook about 250 pages into it.
140. At around 140 pages I switched. Hey, Zara. Sorry.
That being said, going from reading it to the audiobook, I wasn't in love with the audiobook, but the audiobook was so much better than actually pushing myself to read it. But the audiobook wasn't like great.
I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked the narrator.
I didn't care for the narrator. Like, I don't know. It just because I had read so much of it that it was different people voices in my head, and then I was listening to that and I was like, this is totally different.
Yeah, I liked it. Who else liked it?
What did you end up rating it?
I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, actually, 4.5. I liked
it. Kevin. Everybody comment down below what see, when he did Mia's voice, I'm totally in that same boat. It was weird.
Trick
Everybody
was
comment
weird.
down below.
I didn't like his Trick voice. Yeah, Trisha, I didn't like his Trick voice.
Yeah. Everybody comment what you rated it in the comments.
Oh,
wow, you're giving it 5 stars.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.5. So I put it in the middle because objectively, I was like looking at it, and I think it's a really talented book. The politics, the plot, just the magic, the world building, all of that, it was just so interesting and just really complex and really unique, especially with like the shadows and everything. So I thought it was really, I mean, the beginning really bogged me down. It was so much info dump, but I thought that just in general, like the book was really just executed. I mean, if you like, I think it was a really talented book. Like I would never be able to write something. What?
It was well crafted.
Yeah, I would never be able to write something like this, but I had a lot of trouble at the beginning, so I docked it a little bit. So I gave it in between a 4 and a 5.
One of these days, I will not be the worst rater. One of these days. Every book we've read, I feel like I've given it like the worst rating of everybody.
No. We've been pretty close on most of them.
Yeah. 4.66. So exact.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, do we want to go into like what was everyone's favorite part? Do we want to go into worst part?
I want to know who's everybody's favorite character.
Oh, that's a good one to start with.
So obviously mine is the cat.
Yeah. I have to say,
I'm surprised.
Honestly, Mr. Kindly was probably one of my favorite.
I also really liked Eclipse, but we didn't get enough of him. I'm hoping if I will ever get to God's Grave that we're going to see more. Because I really liked their dynamic at the end.
Of who? I'm sorry?
Eclipse and Mr. Kindly, the way they...
Yeah. I liked Trick a lot, too. I really liked Trick. I don't think he's dead.
We're so in tune to like be like, if there's no body, he's not really dead.
I think someone healed him and got him out of there before everyone else died. But
didn't she also say that she saw a body though? I thought that was Trick. Was that not Trick?
No, they never found the body.
I thought she was like running up the stairs and going into the fight scene at the end, and she.
No, I think she was just seeing like dead bodies, but I think specifically said they actually never found the body.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I liked Mia too. I actually thought Mia was, well, not necessarily Mia, but the narrator was hilarious. I liked how he would, take a moment and be like, well, let me tell you, this story's not. I like that, how he would take breaks and then speak to the reader.
Breaking the fourth wall there.
Yeah, I really like that. I thought the narrator was hilarious.
I really liked the style of humor in this. Like, this is one of the books that I was like physically laughing out loud reading because I was like, just her dry humor was great.
Yeah, it was really good.
And her like banter with Mr. Kindly was great. I like loved their dynamic.
Yeah, definitely. I liked one of the things that you said on your vlog that I really liked is I had trouble connecting to the characters. Did anybody else have that issue?
I hate that. Like, I feel like I judge books too harshly because I'm a very character-driven person. So it kind of kills it. Like, I understand that not every book can be character-driven, but that's what I look for. So I tend to rate those worse because they don't have that. But I get that's not everybody's cup of tea. But just knowing that, like, that's like a disclaimer on my ratings is if you don't have good characters that I connect to, you're gonna get docked. Like, that's just my disclaimer.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm really character driven. I had trouble. At first, I had trouble connecting to the characters. I ended up connecting with Mia towards the end.
Trisha said I didn't connect to them very well, but I did enjoy them. I agree with that. So here's the weird thing about this book. If you look at it as an overall arc, I think that the storyline very much is centered around the character. It's centered around Mia's character and her evolution and how her life is going. So it is technically very character driven, but the way that he wrote it wasn't very connecting to the reader, I felt like. So it's hard to, so do you guys think did he write it character driven, or do you think it was more plot driven, and how that affects us with how it interacts? Do you guys think that you can still have a character driven book and still not write the characters well enough to connect with the reader? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, well, what was the question again?
If you can have a character driven book but still not feel connected to the characters.
Yeah. I'm a very character driven, but then again, I need plot and substance too. So
I agree a lot with Sai here. She says, I agree. I wonder if we were supposed to feel disconnected. And so I get that. And I wonder the way that he wrote the story, because he's telling Mia's life story, it's not necessarily from Mia, that maybe that's why we feel a little bit of the disconnect there, that we're still following a character-driven story, but we're getting that disconnect because of the way that it's written.
True, and it's third person, so we're not supposed to be in her head.
Yeah. So maybe that's why it's such a character disconnect for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, if everyone is feeling that, then maybe it was intentional.
But also, that kind of sucks. Like, why would you want to write your story to not have your readers connect with characters?
Maybe because Mia was such a morally ambiguous character that it was hard to connect with her. But then again, there are a lot of characters that are morally ambiguous that I connect with, so that's not a really valid point.
So I was thinking about that a lot, about what makes a character morally gray, and I think there was elements to it, but I feel like it wasn't completely executed 100% in this case. So she had very conflicting messages that made her morally gray, but it just didn't feel like it was 100% there. Like, I don't know how I feel about the whole morally gray situation with Mia.
Yeah, she reminded me so much of Selena.
I got that a lot too.
I couldn't stop. Every time I read, especially at the assassin school, I was just seeing Selena's story. I think that was one of the things, like, I couldn't disconnect from it, even though they're completely separate. I mean, they're separate books. I mean, the only thing they have in common is like assassins and stuff, you know, a few key things here and there, but for some reason, I was just seeing Selena. So Jess said you need to have at least one relatable character look at Game of Thrones. I've never read Game of Thrones.
I haven't either, but I think Trick was supposed to be our relatable character. We got a lot of backstory on him.
Yeah.
And he was my favorite out of the overall characters.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Actually, I really liked Ashlyn a lot.
Really?
What? Well, not at the end. But I thought she was funny. I really liked her. I liked her humor, and I liked her. She had some wit to her. I liked her. Like the few scenes that her and Mia had together, I thought they were fun.
So, forewarning everybody who's watching this, you will get spoiled if you are watching this. Yeah. So that's your one warning. Get out now because you will be spoiled. I saw Ashlyn coming, like, I didn't see her coming being the full villain, but I saw her, like, her being trouble from, like, the very start. And I was like, yeah. And
I didn't
she was
like, at all.
when she like snuck in Mia's room that first time and was like, "Are you coming or what?" And I was like, "Ooh, girl, she's trying to take you down some way." Like
No,
she's trying to push you.
I didn't catch it at all.
Kevin still liked Ash.
I like Ash even at the end, yeah.
And I totally saw the whole like trying to show that it was Hush, like have us suspect Hush so something else was going on. We needed like a distracting hand so something else could be happening. That's why it like triggered me that I was like, there's something weird. I didn't realize how far it was gonna go. I was surprised at the end, but I totally didn't see her as a good character. I definitely thought there was something up with her.
It's funny because Kevin finished it way before I did. Like he listened to the audiobook in like 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah, he listened to it like
applaud for Kevin.
Yeah, and so he finished it, and I still had like 100+ pages left to read, and I thought, so he had already finished it, and my theory was that I thought one of the teachers was going to be the villain. Like I knew something was going to happen, and something was going to go down, and I thought it was going to be one of the teachers. I thought it was going to be the teacher that taught the pit pocketing.
What's his name? Spider Killer?
No,
that's the potion one.
She did the potions.
I really thought that the first person who died, like, what was the first person that died? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The first person who died.
Was it like sword, immortal sword, lord sword something?
No. Oh, that's going to bother me. It's like inevitable that we are always going to go back to the book and have to look up names and stuff because we always can't remember them.
I can't remember his name, but it's the guy who he first brought like the medallion and she got really sick.
Oh, no. Yeah. I'm talking the very first person who died, the first student who died, who they thought that Trick killed, but Trick didn't kill. I thought that a teacher killed him. I totally was on that boat.
Yeah, I thought one of the teachers were bad, and I thought it was gonna be the teacher who did the pit, who taught the pit pocketing, because he was the only one that was like not evil, because all the other ones, or Alea, I thought Alea was gonna be the Alea. What was Shahid Alea? What does she do? She taught them like
the sex stuff.
Yes. I thought she was going to be bad as well.
I really was kind of surprised at the ending with Caroline. It was Caroline, right?
Who's Caroline?
I don't know. The one that she had. Man, we are really sucking at names.
Destiny.
The one that was her only competition in potions. I really didn't see her end coming.
Carlotta.
Yeah. And I really thought that she was gonna have a bigger role in it. Like I didn't trust her, and I was like, well, and now she's dead. Okay, like I was not expecting. I thought that was very abrupt, and I wish we would have gotten more. I thought she was a very interesting character, and I wanted more from her.
Yeah, that's actually a good point that Kevin brought up. What was your favorite teacher?
I don't know. I liked all of them. I really did. Like I liked that they were all super cruel.
Yeah, I liked Spider Killer. She was my favorite one.
I liked Spider Killer. I liked the one that sawed off her arm.
Oh, Solace.
Yeah. I liked him. I liked that he was just like furious.
Yeah, I liked him too.
Trisha says,
interesting.
I thought Trick killed Lottie, liked after his face changing session, he did it and the blood was planted in Mia's room when he went to see her. I totally didn't get that, but I can totally see that.
I can see that too.
I really had no idea that Ash planted that blood. Like, I totally missed that part.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't catch it at all.
See, I didn't know what was happening. I just knew that she was not to be trusted. Especially after she was like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, I'm glad you're not here. That's what tipped me off, is when she's like, I'm glad you're not going to be here. And I was like, what is going down? Like, and also, like, where did that humanity from her come from? Because she wanted to obviously save Mia. And I thought that was not very true to her character. That's also why I was very conflicted on Mia's morally grayness, is because I felt like it wasn't fully there. Like it was almost there, but it didn't fully match her character for me. Like I thought she was so blood hungry, but I got that she was like raised blood hungry. So I didn't really get the humanity part in her so much. And I thought there was a lot of humanity in Mia that didn't feel exactly natural. Did anybody else feel like that?
I will. That was my theory, but went out the window so fast. Yeah, I think that like there's something going on with her, like the darken. I think it makes her angry and like violent.
So did you think that her humanity thing matched her, and that she was like, I felt she was very soft for a school of assassins.
I agree.
Did you think that like matched her though?
I think she's like pretty. I like that she had fear. Well, fear. I mean, Mr. Kindly. Yeah, I loved the whole cat dynamic, but I think that she was capable. See, this is where I keep coming back with Selena. I think that Mia can be like a fierce assassin, but I think that she only wants to hurt those who deserve it. Like, I think she's capable to be like really strong, but I don't think she can like stomach the violence. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
It does. That's what Trisha's in your boat too. She said, I thought her humanity matched. She only wanted a certain revenge and wasn't in it in it to be an overall assassin. I got that part, but I just thought that she was a little too soft.
I thought she was pretty badass.
I mean, like, she just had such humanity and compassion for people that she didn't have any connection to, and that's what threw me off, is like she was so cutthroat about being the top to get her revenge, and I felt that she was very driven in her purpose, that I thought she would be driven enough that we like saw her being so driven at some areas of her life that her being driven enough would translate into her not caring if the other students got hurt, but she did.
Yeah. Okay, I see that. It's like if you take away her motive for revenge, I don't think she would have made it through the school.
I get that. But I just thought like that her drive for seeing that through was going to push her a little more to being a little more heartless about it. But she like cared about people who she barely interacted with, and I thought that wasn't completely like she was before she got into school, she was so driven to exact her revenge. But once she got into the school, I felt like that drive kind of tapered off because she would feel conflicted about other students getting hurt, when I thought that would have been like, she would have had the mindset of been like, well, good, one less person out of the way so I can have my focus of getting my revenge. I really thought that's the way that she was going to go, and she wasn't written like that. And so I felt like it wasn't quite, at least for me, I thought she was a little too soft in that aspect.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why Ash let her go.
That's the thing. Like, Ash, that felt very weird to me too, because we didn't see any humanity from Ash, and then all of a sudden at the end she is like, I'm glad you're getting out of here, and it's like, what? Like, wouldn't you, that makes no sense, because if she was really this cutthroat killer wanting to do and take down the whole thing, why would she let someone who was capable of being an assassin out of her grasp?
Do you know what I mean? You loved her?
I loved this aspect because I think like everybody knows like I love gay characters. So I was like, please, I wanted it to be like confirmed canon that she was either a lesbian or bi or whatever. But like they had that romantic moment at the end, and I was like living for it. I was so happy.
Because Ash didn't die, right? Ash is not dead, correct?
Is she not? Did she
get out? Not dead. Okay.
Kevin
She
says, I felt like
said,
she was conflicted, strong desire to be a hard assassin, but inside have moral ground that fought her along the way. So maybe that's like why it didn't, she had those two conflicting things.
yeah.
Trisha said, I didn't think she was viewing people as one less in her way to getting revenge because I didn't realize that only the 4 would graduate. I thought they all graduated if they passed exams, but only 4 got top marks and good jobs. Yeah, the other ones were basically like servants.
Yeah, so only 4 get to be blades, which is like the actual assassins, and everybody else gets to stay in the school if they survive. And they, like you said, they get to be hands, right?
Yeah. Here's my question. If you were a hand, does that mean you can no longer kill for the rest of your life? Or like, what? I want to know that answer. Like, so if I'm a hand, if I don't make it to the blade, does that mean I can't kill the people that I want to kill? Like, are you not allowed to take people in the name of the mother? Or if you do, like, what's the repercussion of that? Like, who does that? If you're not a blade, does that mean you can't kill anybody?
I actually have no idea. That stuff really confused me. And okay, I'm going to admit something that's ridiculous, but for the longest time, until the end, when she was like, oh, well, I can just stay and be a servant and be a hand, I failed. I thought they were actual hands. Like from, what's that show? The Addams
Family?
I was like picturing these like hands just like.
But name's the hand.
I was just like, yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that. I honestly was seeing like severed hands. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I was seeing that. But it wasn't until the very end that I was like, oh my gosh, they're not actual hands. They mean servants. Nave kills people right. She does, actually.
Does she? Do we ever, like, me, obviously we see her at the end, like, fighting for the school. But do we ever actually see her kill people?
I guess, like, you mean go on missions? Is that what you mean?
Well, like, that thing from Addams Family. Like, so she can obviously leave the building and she can go on, like, these excursions and stuff, but she's not going out being an assassin, per se. She's just working for the school. It doesn't say that she killed anybody outside.
Yeah.
So it's like, what my point is, what is the overall benefit of being a blade versus being a hand? Like, you can still kill whoever you want. Like, you know what I mean? So I think the repercussion has to be that the hands can't kill anybody, right?
See, and here's another thing that kind of threw me off. Like, you bring up a good point. Maybe I just assumed she killed people since she's a BA. Okay.
She's pretty badass.
Yeah. Something that you brought up, Hannah, good point. So Mia keeps saying the only way she can avenge her family is if she becomes a blade. Like at the end, she's pretty much like, she's passed. The only thing that kept her from winning is the fact that she didn't kill an innocent boy. But she's pretty much passed. She knows she's got the skills, everything. So why can't she just go avenge on her own? Why does she have to have the title of a blade?
Exactly. So it's like
I kept thinking that. I was like, girl, you're like towards the end when things were starting to get really dangerous and they were like going to kill her, you know, because they thought she killed Carlotta. I was like, girl, get the hell out of there. Like, you've got the skills. You're super smart. Like, you can walk through shadows. Get out of there and go avenge your family.
I'm totally with you with that.
Like, that's what I would have done. I'd been like, Trick, we're out of here.
And they talked about like you failing and stuff like that at the end too. And she's like, I failed. Like, if I'm not a blade, like I failed. And it's like, so does that mean you're done? Like, what?
Ooh, I like the Kingsman didn't kill the innocent. That's a movie. I don't know if anyone's seen Kingsman Secret Service.
I have, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's at the very end.
Huh.
I don't want to spoil it.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay.
Well, not that long, so it's not that old. But that part, so I wanted to bring up that part of her humanity, I think totally connected to her story.
Yeah.
It was just, I didn't want her to be so compassionate to her competition because she was so driven in her purpose. So her not killing the innocent at the end totally made sense to me because she had no rift with the person there. But she did have people, like, in competition with her holding her back. There was nothing bad for her if she didn't kill this person, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so that part totally made sense, and I was totally okay with that part of her humanity. It was only the part that I felt she, like, sacrificed her dream all of a sudden to care about the other students, and I thought that was weird.
Yeah, because I was like, you killed the executioner as your trial to get into the assassin school. And I'm like, you have all the skills now, just go avenge your family. Like, I don't understand. I guess she just wanted the title of Blade. Like, I mean, they come so far, she wanted the title, but part of me was just like, you need to get out of there and just...
I wonder if it's also the resources. Maybe that's why the Blade title is so important, because
that's true too.
She said, like, he, like, Scavia or whatever his name was, is untouchable. Like, I need this to be able to get to him. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking maybe it's maybe the resources that she needed, not necessarily the title, but she needed this and the resources, like the blood.
I think that she, honestly, I think it's a good idea. Well, I'm curious, like, I don't know if anyone's going to read God's Grave. I think I might listen to it because I'm curious. But because I think God's Grave will probably go by quicker since there's not going to be 150 pages of, like, pure information without dialogue. But I'm curious to know if her being Darkin is, if she's going to end up getting used. Because honestly, if you think about it, Mia's going to be their best asset. Like, she can walk through shadows. She can walk through walls. She pretty much can apparate. So I'm just like, no one's going to be, once she, like, is able to go and figure out what's going on with herself, she's going to be probably the best assassin there.
So Trisha says, I wonder if you're a hand, then you have to serve as they say and wear, and they'll kill you if you don't obey. So that would interfere with her getting revenge. I wonder that too.
Run away.
I don't know. I feel like that's unanswered. Like, what? For how much backstory and how much info dump we have, we never got that answer, and I feel like that is very important. What's the difference between a blade and a hand?
Yeah. Maybe we'll get it in God's Grave.
Fair enough. We haven't read the other book, but I also feel like that answer should have been in this one because that's what the entire book was about.
So I have a quote in the book, and it says, 2 hands seemed to materialize beside Mia's chair. Realizing there was no sense in incurring the mother's wrath further, Mia rose slow, bowed deep, and marched from Drusilla's chambers. The hands were all the way to her bedroom. And I'm like, yes! I didn't know any more people.
Ooh, I wonder if Mia is collecting shadows.
Huh.
Oh my god, that would be... Well, it's only if it's connected, right? Because, like, it talked about at the end, Eclipse's shadow joined her, so there was enough for 3. So are you talking, like, her kills collecting shadows, or her... Because I think it's only people that she stays with collect shadows. Yeah, she collected Eclipse.
Supposed to go to her, though.
Yeah, so I don't think it's from her killing, but that's a very intriguing plot point.
She didn't kill Cassius.
Can we also talk about the end?
Yes.
That's the fighting scene, and, like, do you guys think they're brother and sister? I totally didn't see that coming at all.
Wait, who?
The other shadow dude. Lord Cassius?
Oh, yes! Okay, so I took it as 2 ways. I took it as, do they mean brother and sister loosely? Like, because they're huge on, like, they're all the child of the mother of death or whatever. So did he call her sister as in, like, follow, you know, like, when...
Like Trick said, pale sister or whatever.
Exactly. Or is it, like, are they truly related?
I think that they are actually related.
Okay. I at first I got that vibe too.
Because it was, like, such a dramatic moment that I thought it was, like, too important to say it as something like, everybody is my brother and sister, you know? Like, yeah. I thought it was, like, a very dramatic moment for him to say that I thought it meant more.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I want to talk about how, like, The ending, like what you said with the ending, I was kind of like disappointed a little bit with all of the shaheeds. I was like, come on, you guys are like
Right?
masters, assassins, and you got taken and you're,
Only one tried to get away. Come on.
And then Cassius, who's like the head of all assassins and he's darkened and knows what's going on, he gets killed, and Mia, who has no idea what she's doing, like, I mean, I'm assuming she's the chosen one, which I love that trope. So she's probably stronger than he is. So, but I was like, come on. I didn't feel like it was that realistic. Like they put their students through worse and they couldn't get out of that situation.
Totally. However, I will say that it makes more sense. One, just for plot point reasons that Mia survived, obviously.
Yeah.
Two, I think like he also had a bigger target on his back. So it's like if Harry Potter and Dumbledore were next to each other, Voldemort's obviously more concerned about Dumbledore because he's like, well, I can deal with Harry later. I gotta kill Dumbledore now.
True.
I think that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. And then that's where you go back with like the chosen one. I think the chosen one is your raw magic is more powerful. Right?
Before the whole brother comment thing, I for like a minute thought that Mia's dad was Lord Cassius.
Me too. I'm like, I stand by. I think Mia's adopted.
Well, and I was like, that is literally going to rock her freaking world because that's her whole motivation is because they killed my father. So, well, I guess technically they did kill her father if it is.
Yes, now she still has motivation.
So, okay, fair enough. But I was like, when they talk about the scene with her mom and she was like, you're not mine, you're his. And I was like, what is going on?
Oh, and her brother's still alive?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally think that. And I'm like, what? Like, does that mean he's like part of like the kingdom? And I think the next one's going to be so good.
Yeah, I think the next one's going to be really good too. I hear God's Grave is better than Nevernight.
Yeah, it totally wrapped up way too quickly, Trisha.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I was like, it was too convenient. Like, I don't know. Mia, I feel like she was able to do too much. Granted, it's fantasy. I mean, like, most books, sometimes it wraps up a little too nicely.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought it wrapped. I was just kind of like, I just didn't. I don't understand why none of the assassins were able to get out of handcuffs.
Seriously.
I mean, they locked them in their room. They locked them in their room while they're suffocating with poison, and like I'm telling you, they did worse to the students. They actually killed their students, and they couldn't get out of handcuffs, and they couldn't notice that, like Spider Killer. Couldn't she notice that there was something going on with the food? Like if Trick noticed that the broth smelled funny, why didn't she notice there was something on with the food? I don't know. I didn't like it.
That was way too easy. And like the fact that Ashlyn was the one, I mean, granted they got help from Lottie or Lotta or whatever, but the fact that it's like the student poisoned the teachers, like you don't think that's ever tried to happen before at this, like, come on.
Yeah. Do we find out what her secret was? Ashlyn's secret?
What secret?
Like for Alea. Remember like Alea, she was gonna
No. We didn't. We never found out.
I wanna know. I bet it's about Mia.
Totally. About her brother.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Alea's bad.
I don't think she's bad. I don't know. I don't see her being bad.
I think her and Ashlyn are working together.
No way. No way.
I think she was like manipulating her the entire time. That's her like secret power is manipulation.
Okay. I can see her maybe being more morally gray than I'm willing to accept because I can see that point. Like I can see that her point is manipulation, so I can see a nice twist coming at the end or somewhere down the line. But I don't think that she's totally bad.
Kevin, nope, she's not bad. Nope. What was so good about Alea? We barely got any of her. I don't know. She wasn't my favorite. She was my least favorite teacher. I was thinking the secret might have been that Mia's father had been set up politically and he was killed as a cover-up. See, I thought that was told. Like,
yeah, I thought that was already obvious that it was like.
I thought they said in the book that he was they're all corrupt and her father was like the scapegoat and he was hung for treason, but he really wasn't.
I think it's all conjecture because it's like Mia obviously thinks that, but then also Ashlyn thinks that, you know, like Ashlyn's got her point of view, and, you know, we really don't know what happened or what that backstory is.
That's true. Yeah. I hope her and Jessamine like make a good team. Proof? I don't know. I guess we'll have to read God's Grave.
Do you think they'll actually get into that? I think it's too far in the past that they're gonna.
I think
they're not gonna go into it.
I like the idea of her. Made me think of the Faceless from Game of Thrones, Team Arya.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
What did we think? I was very. If you guys have seen any of my reviews on like the City of Bones books, Mortal Instruments, I am not a fan of the incestual trope. Do not give me that in my books. I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want it. Don't give me that. I had that very thing between like the blood brother and the sister with the messed up face. Those two, I was like, this is creepy.
Wait, were they incestual?
They had a very weird relationship that I got incestual vibes from. Because they were like, brother, my love, and things like that. And they would like, they talked about like that they were their number ones and they would give up anything else for them. And it just was, no. I'm not here for that.
I don't like that trope either. There are a few tropes that I can usually get behind, but the incestual, I have trouble with that one.
And I get that it's like to get it, you know, like it's there for the shock factor, but it makes me so uncomfortable when I read it. I don't want to read about brothers and sisters together. Like, stop it.
I know. This book was uncomfortable enough to read. Like, who else? Were y'all able to stomach like the gore and all the sex?
Kevin said, I think they relied on each other for life. At least that's what I told myself. The gore did not bother me. The language didn't bother me. The sex didn't bother me until I changed over to the audiobook. And then I was like, this is weird having this in my ears.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, being told those scenes versus reading them is different because now someone's telling you a story that's like, it made me uncomfortable because I felt like there was someone else in the room judging me.
She was just like, I like the sex.
They were good scenes. They were very steamy.
They were, but I gotta say, like, the oral scene, that was like the first part of it, I was literally listening to it and Trevor was sitting next to me and I was like, ew, what am I listening to?
Oh my
I felt like I was like 12
so
years
funny.
old again all of a sudden.
I'm pretty sure at one point, I don't know if I can say, or what is it? Are there any children on this live show? But I caught something that they were doing at one point, and I was like, did you catch that? I asked Kevin, I was like, did you catch that? He was like, no. I was like, I'm pretty sure I caught that.
What?
I'll put it in the chats doesn't stay, right?
No.
Okay, just in case there ever is any. You didn't catch that? I caught that they did that.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, okay. Just in case that the kids.
I mean, it doesn't mean that didn't happen, but I just didn't like. I was so like Did you guys notice? Like, I was listening to the audiobook at 2 times speed, so it was already really fast. But it's like during those sex scenes, it went really like the narrator just went like 10 times faster than
I was trying to get through it. You know what was making me think? I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder who they paid to do the audiobook for 50 Shades of Grey.
Seriously, how uncomfortable would you be as a narrator? I mean, like, maybe they're used to it because that's their job, but I would be like, you're sitting in a studio recording that and like just all these people are around you and I would never want that job. That would be so uncomfortable. Yeah.
So Trisha said she got it. She got that part. I think she missed. A few people said they think they missed that scene, but
I'm okay with missing that scene. Like,
yeah. Yeah. But I think it got pretty violent towards the end, but I thought it was gonna be more. I thought it was gonna be a lot more like nauseous with all the gore, but I stomached
Totally.
it pretty well.
I didn't think it was any more intense than like the Throne of Glass books.
Yeah. Well, no one got their arm cut off.
Okay, but like people still die in Throne of Glass.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, okay. A Court of Wings and Ruin. They no, not A Court of Wings and Ruin, but A Court of Thorns and Roses, the first one.
No
I thought
spoilers. Trisha hasn't read it yet.
no spoilers.
Okay.
But I think it gets pretty gory at some point.
I don't know. The gore didn't bother me. I didn't think it was that descriptive.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be worse.
Honestly, I thought the sex scenes were far harder to get through than the killing scenes.
Yeah, me too. Some of the language was a little bit like woo. They used like the C word. I'm not going to say that one. Right?
To be honest, I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and if you guys are like familiar with that, like I love that show. They say like curves, it's something uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and it stands for that. So it didn't bother me because I just kept thinking of the acronym.
Okay, I was ew about the porky and the human bodies being disposed. Oh yeah, the whole pig's blood thing was really gross.
Yeah. Kevin, I have no idea what you're agreeing with me with.
As a man, I agree, which is weird.
Oh, maybe the sex scenes were harder to get through than the gore, or what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I was I had like just finished a steamy scene, and I vlogged, and I was like, I could just feel myself like heating up.
That was such a cute footage.
Like, this is adult.
Did I say that for the people in the bag?
Like mature content. Does anyone want to bring up anything? Does anyone have any questions?
Who's going to continue the story?
I will. On audiobook.
Yeah, I'll probably do it on an audiobook as well.
Yeah, I'm going to wait until it becomes available at my public library, and I'm going to request it.
Did anybody, like, I don't know if I'm holding a grudge against the book, but the beginning of the book, because it was so slow, I feel like that killed, like, the overall rating majorly for me.
Yeah, I really do think, like, I mean, I got through that 140 so pages a lot quicker because it was a reread for me because I had already started it, and it took me like a month just to get 100 pages in. So when I started it again, I went through with the audiobook, and it read a lot quicker, so that was nice. But that's why I ended up DNFing it at the beginning when I first started it back in like October, November of last year, because it was just like, oh my God, I need dialogue, and it just, the back and forth was really confusing.
I really was not a fan of all of the asterisks and like I mean, I get it if you're going to do a little bit, but if you have half a page of something, like, just put it in the damn story. And so I will be completely honest, I skipped a lot of that when I was physically reading that. Now, when you're listening to the audiobook, you don't really have a choice because it tells it to you and it's just with the story. But that pulled me out a lot.
Yeah, definitely. The asterisks, like having to stop where I was at, and like they were random. I mean, some of these asterisks are like right here. It's in the freaking middle of the page. There's an asterisk, and it's pretty large too. So it's like, and it's all about politics and those. See,
like I am for the footnotes if it's for humor purposes. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't care about all the different suns and like that. I don't care. I do not care.
Yeah, there's some of them are really funny. Like, she didn't know how to listen yet. You people seldom do. So I thought when it was like the narrator breaking the fourth wall and talking to us through the footnotes, I thought those were fun. But I didn't like how it was in the middle of sentences. At least put it at the end of a paragraph.
And don't make it the size of half of a page because that's so unnecessary. Or like, if it's so far, if you're on this page and it's so much that you have to travel on to the other page to finish your footnote, too much.
Yeah.
Scale it down, man.
Or put it part of your story.
Yes, just put it in the damn story if you want to talk about it. I don't understand why he felt it was necessary to break that up.
Yeah. Speaking of writing, I do love how Mr. Kindly's was italicized. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, I did like that.
I really like that. But yeah, the footnotes kind of killed me a little bit. And can we talk about how small this writing is? Like, this is 427 pages, but I'm sorry, this is not 427 pages. I think we can add an extra 100 page because of how tiny the font is. And the fact that there are like no paragraphs and no dialogue. Like,
it's definitely like the adult versus YA because we're so used to
I know, that's why I'm like, why is it taking me 3 damn minutes to read 1 page?
Seriously, it took me, I was reading like 20 pages and it took me 40 minutes. And I was like, oh, this is taking me forever. And that also made me dock it because it took me forever to get through. So it felt like I was like dragging.
At one point when I was vlogging, I was like, oh my God, yes, I have 50 pages left. I'm almost done. And it was like, I don't know, 9:30 at night or something. I'm like, I can do this. And it took me 2 hours to read those 50 pages. 2 hours. And that was at the end when the like things were moving.
Got going.
And we were getting a lot of action scene.
It's like 18-hour audiobook.
Yeah.
It's like up there with like Mistborn. Mistborn's like that far. And it's a high fantasy book. Like, dang.
Y'all make me feel slow. 10 pages equals 60 minutes. That's why I only listen to audiobook. That is true. If Kevin and I are reading together, like the same, I'm done way before him.
See, and that, like, me and Trevor are like that, too. Like, I feel like I read so slow, only because Trevor will finish, like, 5 minutes before I will, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. So do we want to talk about really quick? So we're going to do our Vampire Academy. I mean, does anyone have anything else left to add before we wrap up, since we're going to do our Vampire Academy read-along live show in about 10 minutes?
I do want to say what our next book is.
Yeah!
Since the results got posted, I'm sorry, Trisha, you did not get your way. It's going to be Scythe by Neil Schusterman, and this is supposed to be a really fast, fun read, and I've heard the audiobooks are good on this one as well. I'm going to actually try to physically read it, because I always want to try to physically read our books, but this is our next book for April.
It's okay, Kevin. You can leave. You can leave. Vampire Academy. Vampire Academy. Our read-along. Actually, you can totally join in if you want, if you haven't read them.
For shame.
Yeah, I don't think it's his style, though.
Hey, Trevor read it, and he likes those books.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I think they're great.
So does anybody have anything else to say?
What's it about? And I like Scythe. Is it Scythe or Scythe?
It's Scythe. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. So I thought it was Scythe, and that's what everybody says, but there's a C in it.
Maybe it's just Scythe still. What's it about, Hannah? Do you want to give the synopsis?
This is about a world where the medicine and everything is so far advanced that people basically aren't dying. So there's basically like characters like Grim Reapers who are the person who is in charge of taking people's lives, and they're the ones who choose. And so these two apprentices are chosen to be the Scythes to kill people, and it's about that.
Yeah. Scythe won in both polls. So, but it's a duology that, like, it makes me feel a little bit better. I didn't want to start too many series. But is supposed to be.
You totally forgot about that.
Wait, what? For May?
Yeah, A Court of Frost and Starlight comes out May 2nd or 1st.
No!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and I'm gonna be in we're gonna have to go get it together.
I'm so excited. Oh yeah, we never like actually announced, but Gabby's coming to a visit. So the next live show we will actually be together.
It's gonna be May 2nd.
For April's, yes.
Yeah. So April's live show, we're gonna do it in May, and we're gonna do it together.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up the actual. Is it on May 1st or May 2nd? For A Court of Frost and Starlight.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes. So that's gonna be May's.
So you guys have 2 months, 1 month, 2 months. Because
May 1st.
No, well, it's a Court of Frost and Starlight. It's going to be May's, so you have 2 months to catch up with A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yes,
May 1st. Yay!
Ooh, look how pretty it is underneath.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, very cool. Trevor's already read this and he said it was really good.
Oh, he did? Good.
Yeah.
We tend to have good, I haven't read any of that series, yikes.
Get to work, it reads so fast, it's great.
Oh, shoot, is it a Tuesday? May 2nd's a Tuesday.
Let's see.
Then maybe we can do it May 5th, which is a Saturday.
Yeah, because you'll still be here.
Yeah.
So we'll keep it on the Saturday so everybody can still join in and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it on May 5th on that Saturday. I didn't even think about the fact that it was gonna be a Tuesday.
Aw, that means you get A Court of Frost and Starlight on your channel. You suck.
That's okay. You'll probably end up getting Houdini.
Throne of Glass, the last one. Oh, I'm totally cool with that then.
Yes. I'm so excited. So does anyone have anything else to wrap up? If you guys want, we're gonna create a new live show with Vampire Academy title. So if you guys are wanting to stay for that, just kind of hang tight. We're just gonna create a new live show right away.
Yeah. And Trisha, we promise we'll do a standalone.
Yeah.
So for June, it's definitely going to be a standalone.
Yeah.
Because that'll be the next unfilled one.
Yes.
We could probably do a contemporary too. Because I always want to do contemporaries during summer, so. And
contemporary standalones, they're more common. Standalones with contemporary. Yay.
Cool. So hang tight, guys, and we will be back for Vampire Academy.
Yay!